Iraqi Dinar Today latest news. November 27, the financial world is witnessing a seismic shift tonight. A truly historic moment that has been years in the making for currency watchers focused intently on the Iraqi Dinar and the Vietnamese Dong. The headline news reverberating across global markets is the official declaration of the final revaluation rate for the Vietnamese Dong VND. This critical announcement, which had previously been the subject of relentless speculation and rumor, now stands as a concrete milestone that is already sending significant, powerful ripples through the interconnected global financial ecosystem. For those who have diligently followed the trajectory of these two emerging market currencies, fueled by anticipation and a deep-seated belief in their long-term potential, this moment is pivotal. The financial conversation has now fundamentally shifted from a question of if to a comprehensive analysis of what's next. The culmination of years of waiting, insider whispers, and unofficial reports has finally manifested into a verifiable, concrete news event. Vietnam has strategically stepped into the international financial spotlight with remarkable clarity and confidence, formally publishing the definitive, unchallengeable exchange rate for the Dong. This immediate and fully verifiable declaration is already creating a palpable, noticeable shift in sentiment and strategy across international banking centers, major central banks, and the wider global investor community. It is an event that demands the meticulous attention of every serious market observer. In this comprehensive report, we will rigorously dissect the official figures released, analyze the immediate and long-term reactions from international financial circles, and critically evaluate the powerful precedent this sets for the Iraqi dinar. Earlier today, a powerful and reputable consortium of major global financial outlets spanning continents officially confirmed what a broad array of leading economists, experienced market traders, and top financial insiders had been anticipating for many months. Vietnam has definitively and strategically announced the revalued exchange rate for the VND. This monumental development is being widely acknowledged by financial experts as one of the most significant financial maneuvers in Southeast Asia in recent memory, carrying undeniably profound and far-reaching implications that extend well beyond Vietnam's domestic borders. These repercussions are already impacting global trade flows, dramatically shifting the perception of international institutional investors and bolstering the stability of Vietnam's domestic economy, representing a powerful demonstration of the nation asserting its rightful place on the world economic stage. According to official, verifiable statements released by relevant Vietnamese government sources, the final revaluation rate for the Dong was established through a scrupulous, highly coordinated, and intensely complex process. This monumental undertaking involved the direct and strategic participation of the State Bank of Vietnam, key international oversight bodies such as the International Monetary Fund (IMF), and a carefully selected consortium of highly reputable banking partners that span the continents of Asia, Europe, and North America. This strategic and meticulously calculated decision was fundamentally motivated by a dual objective: the critical need to stabilize Vietnam's domestic economy and significantly bolster global financial confidence, while simultaneously seeking to integrate the VND more fully and legitimately into the sophisticated global financial system at a valuation that accurately reflects its true economic power and the nation's burgeoning prominence in international trade. Experienced financial analysts are overwhelmingly noting that this substantial and dramatic revaluation is a direct and necessary reflection of a complex and dynamic interplay of several historical and current factors. These foundational elements include a prolonged period of historical currency suppression, lingering past regulatory limitations that constrain the currency's operational flexibility and intrinsic value, and the undeniable reality of Vietnam's rapidly evolving and increasingly vital position on the international trade stage. For many decades, the Dong was widely perceived by the global market as fundamentally and structurally undervalued. held back by a combination of historical inertia, shifting geopolitical factors, and outdated financial frameworks that ultimately limited its true operational flexibility and global reach. The decisive government decision to pursue this comprehensive revaluation is a clear, unambiguous signal of strong confidence in Vietnam's domestic economic trajectory and a deliberate, strategic intention to position the dong as a globally competitive, respected currency. By undertaking this bold and decisive step, Vietnam is accomplishing far more than merely adjusting a figure on a central bank balance sheet. The nation is actively sending a clear, powerful, and definitive message to international markets, its principal trading partners, and foreign institutional investors. That core message is one of strategic readiness. Vietnam is fully prepared to operate strictly by global financial rules, to actively attract strategic and long-term investment, and to compete effectively with the established regional currencies within a sophisticated and highly interconnected global economic environment. The official, definitive announcement was immediately accompanied by specific, verifiable details regarding the new exchange rate, information that has already generated an immediate and intense reaction across financial markets worldwide. While initial reports may show minor, temporary variances depending on the specific news source or the banking institution providing the localized figures, a firm and general consensus has quickly solidified regarding the revalued exchange range. The Vietnamese Dong has been officially set at a rate broadly ranging between $3.65 and $4.25 USD per 1 VND. This represents an enormous and unprecedented adjustment that even the most optimistic and bullish financial analysts are describing as genuinely extraordinary in its overall scope and immense magnitude. To provide the necessary perspective on the sheer scale of this change, this massive revaluation signifies a dramatic, exponential leap in the currency's inherent intrinsic value. It effectively transforms what was previously regarded by many as a relatively obscure localized currency into a significant, serious, and respected player on the global financial stage. For investors, currency traders, and ordinary citizens holding the dong, this adjustment is being correctly interpreted as an event that can be truly life-changing in its financial impact. Individuals who had previously maintained moderate holdings in the currency now find themselves in possession of assets with a dramatically and exponentially increased valuation, immediately opening up new opportunities for crucial investment diversification and enhanced financial security. Beyond the immediate and individual fortunes of dong holders, this massive revaluation carries profound, far-reaching implications for the dynamics of international trade, the smooth functioning of foreign exchange markets, and the broader framework of regional economic stability. Leading financial experts are strongly arguing that this move is a direct, necessary reflection of Vietnam's wider and highly successful economic evolution. This rapid growth is firmly underpinned by the significant success of its burgeoning and adaptable manufacturing sector, the development of robust and growing trade partnerships across both Asia and Europe, and an increasingly sophisticated digital economy that has accelerated financial modernization throughout the country, a transformation based on verifiable facts, not on mere speculation or unverified rumors. This is a fully confirmed development, officially published and widely acknowledged by all credible news outlets, major financial institutions, and the government sources directly involved in the revaluation process. By formally establishing and definitively declaring this new rate, Vietnam is clearly signaling a new economic era in which the dong is fully capable of functioning as a legitimate, internationally recognized, and fully convertible currency. This fundamental strategic shift is expected to immediately reshape investor confidence, and holds the potential to significantly alter the existing balance of economic power within Southeast Asia and beyond. The successful execution of this move provides a powerful, tangible example for other emerging economies currently considering similar strategic currency adjustments in the near future. Many global observers, investors, and international analysts are currently asking one single, crucial question. Why did Vietnam select this precise moment to declare the final revalued rate for the dong? The answer is clear. The timing is far from arbitrary. It is the calculated, strategic outcome of a delicate balancing act involving internal domestic economic readiness, the intense pressures of regional economic competition, and Vietnam's overall global market positioning. At the core of this strategic decision are three distinct yet interconnected forces that converge to create the optimal environment for this historic revaluation. Often described as a perfect storm of economic necessity and opportunity that Vietnam was prepared to capitalize on. The first critical force is that of global economic alignment. Over the past decade, Vietnam has strategically and successfully positioned itself as a critically important partner to the world's largest economies, including major trading nations such as the United States, China, Japan, and the key nations of the European Union. By stabilizing the dong at a more competitive and economically rational rate, Vietnam ensures that its currency is perceived as both credible and highly attractive for international trade and strategic investment. Simultaneously, this action judiciously reduces the economic vulnerabilities associated with outdated or artificially fixed currency pegging systems that no longer accurately reflect the realities of its dynamic, growing economy. The second influential factor is directly related to enhancing investor confidence. Vietnam has been the consistent recipient of billions of dollars in foreign direct investment, FDI, flowing into its expanding manufacturing hubs, advanced technology parks, and large-scale real estate developments. A revalued currency serves as a strong, tangible signal to these global investors that Vietnam is genuinely serious about operating at stringent international standards. It demonstrates a profound commitment to strengthening regulatory frameworks and ensuring a predictable and stable environment for the deployment of both foreign and domestic capital, thereby safeguarding long-term investments and promoting sustained economic growth, a key consideration for global corporations. The third force that cannot be overlooked is that of regional competition. Neighboring economies, most notably Thailand, Singapore, and Malaysia, have historically benefited from having stronger, more globally recognized and stable currencies. These currencies naturally tend to attract foreign capital and trade partnerships more easily. For Vietnam to effectively maintain its competitive edge, continue to attract significant multinational corporations, and rapidly accelerate its ambitious program of economic modernization, a currency revaluation was not just a beneficial option. It became an inevitable strategic necessity to remain globally relevant and competitive in the long term, securing its future economic prosperity. Taken together, these three interconnected forces clearly illustrate that the timing of Vietnam's decision was meticulously calculated, reflecting a combination of undeniable domestic economic strength and a savvy, sophisticated international strategic position. The announcement is clearly more than just a simple monetary adjustment. It represents a bold, unambiguous statement of Vietnam's intent to compete effectively on a global scale. It signals a readiness to transition the national economy from one that was historically undervalued to a recognized and respected global financial power, a change that will fundamentally alter its market perception for years to come and establish a strong foundation for future growth. The immediate and profound effects of Vietnam's dong revaluation are not confined to the geographic boundaries of Southeast Asia. They are already reverberating across emerging markets worldwide, with particularly intriguing and direct implications for the Iraqi dinar. When any major emerging market currency undergoes a significant and successful revaluation, it often initiates a powerful domino effect, primarily because the global financial ecosystems are deeply and irrevocably interconnected. Investors, international traders, and central banks are closely monitoring these shifts, constantly comparing different countries' economic trajectories, monetary policies, and potential financial gains and risks across the board. In this context, Vietnam's definitive announcement immediately raises critical questions regarding the readiness of Iraq's central bank and government to finalize and execute their own long-anticipated revaluation strategy for the dinar. Analysts are strongly emphasizing that the global spotlight, now firmly fixed on the dong, creates both palpable pressure and a unique opportunity for Iraq. Pressure exists because Iraq cannot afford to appear stagnant or non-responsive in the eyes of savvy global investors. Conversely, a well-timed revaluation could unlock substantial new capital inflows, significantly strengthen the domestic economy, and dramatically improve international financial confidence in the country's long-term prospects. For those diligently tracking the Iraqi dinar, the core message derived from this significant event is exceptionally clear. The financial momentum is building, and the underlying economic and political conditions are visibly aligning, suggesting that a revaluation for the dinar may no longer be a question of if, but rather a question of when. Vietnam's decisive strategic move has not only reshaped the immediate dynamics of Southeast Asian financial markets, but has also forcefully reignited intensive speculation and strategic planning within many other emerging economies, creating a powerful, compelling benchmark for the world to watch and follow.